News Channel 5 network, this is Morningline with Nick Barris.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on Morningline on a Thursday. I hope you really will join us. Call in, and if you'd like to join in the conversation this morning on a very important topic with an organization that does incredible work here in Middle Tennessee with children, children who are abuse victims and the like, and the kind of help they need, and the education really is what Our Kids plays a huge role in. We're going to talk about something new coming up that I think has a real possibility to make a big difference in what we know and how people come out with these types of things and are freer to talk about it so we can address that issue of child sex abuse. And we're also going to talk about an event coming up as well that you might want to be a part of. It sounds like it's going to be a great time. It's next weekend. All of that and more, but it's not me. It's going to be the director, the top dog with Our Kids. And she does such a fantastic job. Sue Fort White, good morning.
Good morning, Nick.
It's nice to see you.
It's always good to be with you.
It's a pleasure to have you on. It is. She's just great. She's just great. And look, a lot of things we want to talk about this morning, but I thought for this first segment, to let people know again, remind them. I mean, you've been on before. There's some amazing fundraisers we've talked about here on a very important issue, but talk about Our Kids, their mission, and what it is you do.
Okay, Nick, today I'm going to start with a question.
Okay.
What if I told you 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 7 boys will be sexually abused by age 18?
I mean, to me, I guess I would obviously believe it, but it's disturbing that it's that high.
It is disturbing.
1 in 4 girls.
And 1 in 7 boys. So Our Kids...
Look, what that means, though, think about it. I work here at News Channel 5. We've got 200 some people here. Many of them are women.
Yes.
And 1 out of every 4 of the women that work at this station likely has suffered some type of sexual abuse. 1 out of every 7 men working here have had an issue with that.
I would say that it's a
think about
chance.
it. So you definitely know someone who has. There's no doubt about it.
Yes.
You just may not know that, and they may not have told you, but they're dealing with that. Well, go on.
So Our Kids provides medical evaluations and crisis counseling in response to child sexual abuse. Every year we evaluate over 850 children. We serve 47 counties in Middle Tennessee, and we have on-call, we provide on-call 24/7 coverage with a nurse practitioner and a social worker on call. So, and out of 850 plus children, about 65% of them are 7 years of age and younger. And so it's jarring. Child sexual abuse knows no boundaries. So every religion, every socioeconomic, every race, every urban, rural, there are no boundaries to this.
Do you work hand in hand to some degree with prosecutors, the district attorney's office? Is that how you catch wind of it? They can call you direct, or are you sometimes brought in to assist?
So it's a very collaborative system.
Okay.
We are one of many partners that work together. So I would say the vast majority, but not all, but a great majority of our referrals come from the Department of Children's Services.
Oh, okay, sure.
Come from law enforcement, come from pediatricians, come from concerned family members, that kind of thing. But yes, I mean, part of our mission is we're full service, so we're part of, we do the medical evaluations and crisis counseling. We also work very, very closely with the child advocacy centers in Middle Tennessee. Our partner here in Nashville is the Nashville Children's Alliance. They are wonderful. We also, we do, the clinical team members provide expert testimony in courts of law throughout Middle Tennessee.
Your clinical team members?
Yes.
All right, so for instance,
so if it goes to court, yes, they are subpoenaed and they provide expert testimony. So yes, we are working with the assistant district attorneys all throughout Middle Tennessee, and who are wonderful.
Well, you say expert, meaning that they have to have the specialized training. I was wondering, just for the viewers, like, give us how you walk through a situation when you get a referral, let's say, with a 7-year-old girl, and the allegations are that she's been molested in her house, but we're not exactly sure how. And they bring her in. I mean, what I say by how is who, perhaps, in the house. Is this where they use those dolls and things like this?
We don't use the dolls.
Okay, you don't use dolls.
That is not at all best practice.
That
So
no longer works. Remember in the old days, I mean, where they had the dolls, well, did he touch you here? Did he touch you there?
No, we
but
don't
that was
do
too
that.
suggestive. So how do you guys do that?
So first of all, there's just a lot of clinical and critical judgment. Our thing is whatever's best for the child and the family in that moment. So we do need information, and you know, we triage every call, and we try to get as much information about the child, the nature of the sexual contact, the date of the last contact, you know, who the perpetrator is, any other things that are really important. If it has happened within 72 hours, we depending on all the other answers to those questions, we see them emergently. And just let me back up a second. For 31 years, we have been considered an outpatient clinic of Nashville General Hospital. We are very proud of that affiliation. So in the middle of the night or on the weekends, if it's an emergency, if it's deemed an emergency, it's happened within 72 hours, and the child needs to be seen, we will either see them at the emergency department at General Hospital or at our own offices on Hay Street. Okay. You know, but also, I mean, ideally, it's best for the child to get a forensic interview, if it's possible, at the Child Advocacy Center.
And explain what a forensic interview is.
So a forensic interview is done by a specially trained person who that's what they do, and they interview the child in a way that is, first of all, gets as much information as possible, non-leading questions. I mean, there is a particular protocol, and they have to be specially trained to do that. Okay. Also, it's, you know, defensible, or, you know, in courts of law. Sure. So it's got to be done in a way that's very prescriptive, and that's not always possible to do that first, but that is ideal. Do
you know, are they in some instances recorded? I would think, you know, to capture that, so that they can show the interaction and the responses without question. They
videotape the interviews so that they can be used, and the child does not have to go through that again. So yes, and so I guess what I think is it's complicated. Child sexual abuse is a complicated topic, because 95% of the time the perpetrator is someone that's known and trusted by the child and or the family, and so it does complicate things. I mean, when a family comes to our kids, when a caregiver brings a child to our kids for the appointment, it is not a 20-minute medical transaction. It's more like an intense encounter that lasts between an hour and a half and sometimes 4 hours. Because part of what's going on is, you know, the caregiver is reeling. They're either not believing the child because they cannot believe that their brother or their father or their boyfriend or their husband has done this to their 8-year-old daughter. And so I think that what is so important about our model at Our Kids is that we really do provide the space and time for people to tell their stories. We help them de-escalate. We meet them where they are without judgment. We dignify and respect them. And part of this whole "What If I Told You" campaign,
which we're going to get into after the break,
is we have learned so much from caregivers over the years, and the clinical team members at Our Kids have taught me so much, because it's every week and it's almost every day that a caregiver, if they're given enough time and you're actually asking them, what is your story? What are you confused about? How do you feel? We really care about how you feel, and we give people a chance to tell their story. And so often people are saying, I've never told anybody this. This happened to me when I was 8. And it was my grandfather. This happened to me when I was 11. It was the older cousin. And they're saying, I can't carry this anymore. I cannot carry this alone. I've never told anybody, and I'm telling you now. And that is the sacred. That is where healing begins.
Well, you know, and this is so timely. It's something, sadly, that's been around for so long. But we see what's happening in the church, in the Catholic Church. And I just saw this morning that the Pope is calling a gathering of all the bishops to come out, I think early next year, maybe later this year, to talk about, you know, addressing this finally and getting it out there, and what the story is out of Philadelphia. And What if I told you? And so many people now coming forward now. What?
Heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking, but it shines a light on it, and that's what you need to do. Listen, we'll take a break, and when we come back, again, the phone lines are open. Topics like this I know are more heavy, but if you are dealing with a situation, you have a question for her about house seeking help or about what we're going to talk about when we come back, give us a call. But you see on her shirt there, what if I told you? That's one of the reasons we're doing the show today, this website and what that's all about. And I think it's a great idea, and I'm interested to learn more too. So we'll take a break, be back more with Sue Ford White with our kids right after this.
Side villas.